Take a slow breath in and let it out. Again, breathe in and breathe out. Let your shoulders loosen. Let your forehead soften. There is nothing you need to prove right now. Tonight we stay inside one short story from the Gospel of Mark, the evening crossing when the storm rose and Jesus calmed the sea. Because the passage is short, we can move through it slowly enough to feel its quiet weight. The scene begins in a boat and ends in a great calm. The disciples are afraid. Jesus is present, and his word is enough for the water and enough for the heart. You do not need to rush ahead of the words. You can simply listen and receive. You do not have to hold every detail in your mind. You can let the story carry you slowly. In Mark's Gospel, the storm story begins with a quiet sentence at the close of day. Jesus says to his disciples, "Let us go across to the other side." The crowd is left behind. He is taken just as he is in the boat, and other boats are with them on the water. Nothing in the opening scene sounds dramatic, because the danger has not yet risen into view. It is simply evening, a boat, a crossing, and the presence of Jesus among his disciples. The command to cross already contains the shape of the journey, because they are going where he has said they will go. Before the waves are described, the story is already resting on the words of Jesus. The story begins with God's steady hand already at work. The crossing begins with the calm authority of Jesus speaking a direction. The story starts with his word before it reaches the wind. You can remember his word before you measure the waves. You can rest. Then a great windstorm arises, and the waves are breaking into the boat, so that the boat is already filling with water. Mark tells the scene with plain force: water entering, wind rising, the vessel taking on what it cannot safely hold. And in the stern Jesus is asleep on the cushion, not frantic, not pacing, not startled by what has startled everyone else. His sleep does not mean he is absent from the boat. It means the storm has not undone his peace. The contrast is severe and memorable. The disciples are overwhelmed by what surrounds them, while Jesus remains at rest inside the same storm. Mark places the sleeping Christ in the middle of the violent scene so that the reader will see calm before calm is spoken. The Lord is already present before the outcome is seen. Jesus is present in the storm before the storm is quieted. His rest is not fragile, and his presence is not cancelled by fear. You are not alone when the scene around you feels full and loud. You can rest. The disciples wake him with a question that gathers panic into one sentence. "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" It is an honest question, but it is also a frightened one, because fear often treats delay as indifference and silence as absence. The disciples are not inventing the danger. The water is real and the wind is real, yet their interpretation of Jesus is not steady. They see the waves correctly, but they do not yet see him correctly. Mark allows the question to stand in the open, because many readers know the feeling of asking whether the Lord cares when trouble has risen high. The beauty of the story is that Jesus answers the storm and the fear without leaving the boat or leaving the disciples in their confusion. Nothing in this scene is outside God's rule. The disciples speak from fear, and Jesus receives that fearful cry inside the boat. The presence of panic does not remove the possibility of help. You do not need to hide fear before bringing it to Christ. You can rest. Jesus awakes, rebukes the wind, and says to the sea, "Peace, be still." The command is short, but the authority behind it is immeasurable. Then the wind ceases, and there is a great calm. Mark does not describe a gradual settling, but a decisive obedience in creation itself. The same voice that had called the disciples into the boat now addresses the sea, and the sea obeys. The storm is not persuaded, and it is not negotiated with, it is rebuked. What the disciples could not master with effort, Christ masters with a word. This is one of the reasons the story feels so restful once it slows. The power that rules the sea is standing inside the boat with them. The turning point comes by God's faithfulness. Jesus speaks, and the sea yields to him. The Lord over the storm is greater than the storm itself. You are held by one whose word creation obeys. You can rest. After the great calm, Jesus turns to his disciples and asks, "Why are you so afraid? Have you still no faith?" The question comes after rescue, not before it, as if he is now teaching them to interpret what has happened in the light of who he is. Fear had made the storm the largest reality in the boat, but Jesus exposes another reality that was there the whole time, his own presence and authority. Faith in this moment is not a denial of waves, but a right estimate of the one who shares the boat. The disciples had seen his works already, yet this storm reveals that there is still more to learn about him than they had yet understood. The question remains gentle enough to hear at night: what if the first thing to remember is not the size of the trouble, but the nearness of Christ? The Lord continues to care after the crisis. Jesus addresses fear by drawing attention back to himself. Faith grows when his presence is given its proper weight. You can let his nearness become larger than your alarm. You can rest. The disciples are filled with great fear and say to one another, "Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" Mark ends the scene not with a tidy explanation, but with reverent awe, because the storm has revealed something deeper than danger and rescue alone. The one in the boat is not only a teacher with wise sayings, he is the Lord whose command reaches the forces that terrify human beings. The water becomes quiet, but the bigger stillness comes from seeing more truly who Jesus is. Once that truth is seen, the storm story becomes more than memory. It becomes a place of trust, because the disciples now know more clearly who is with them. Mark lets the great calm remain in the air, and it is enough for the story to end there, with Christ revealed and the sea made still. The story settles in the gift of God's presence. The story ends in or before the one whom the wind and the sea obey. Peace in Mark 4 is grounded in the identity of Jesus. You are safe with the one who commands the storm. You can rest. Now the story can become simple. No new scene is needed. The same truth remains. The Lord is still faithful. Jesus spoke the crossing. Jesus remained in the boat. Jesus heard the fearful cry. Jesus rebuked the sea. Jesus asked about fear. Jesus left a great calm. You are safe with Christ. You can rest in his peace. You do not have to carry anything more from the story. You can rest. Now the story can grow quiet. No new scene is needed. Only the truths that remained beneath the wind and the wave. Jesus was in the boat. Jesus heard the cry. Jesus spoke peace. The storm obeyed him. You are not alone in the storm. His presence is not cancelled by rough water. His authority is not weakened by fear. You can rest. Nothing new is being added now. The truth can become lighter and simpler. He is with you in the boat. He is not absent in the storm. His word is not weak. The sea obeys him. You are safe with Christ. You can rest in his peace. You can rest. You are safe with Christ. You can let the night be quiet. Jesus speaks peace. The sea grows still. You are not alone in the storm. Let your breathing slow now. Let the waves grow smaller now. Let his presence fill the boat. You can rest. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest. Jesus is with you in the boat. His peace is not shaken. The wind and sea obey him. You are safe with Christ. The great calm remains. You can rest.